Hi, let me introduce myself. My name is Septia Dewi with name 66702302129. Here, I will present the results of the analysis of the political system in Indonesia after the 2024 presidential election. Before we get into results of the analysis, we will first find out about what is a political system. Political system is a collection of institutions, rules, and processes that shape and govern policy in a country. Scholars often define it based on the interaction between elements such as government, political parties, elections, and citizens. For example, David Easton describes it as an exchange of inputs, outputs, and feedbacks between the state and society. According to David Easton, a political system is a system of interacting elements. Inputs such as people's demands and aspirations enter the political system. The processes within the system then process these inputs into outputs, such as policies or political decisions. The output then has an impact or consequence that again affect the community, resulting in feedback that affects the next input. Thus, the political system is explained as a dynamic cycle of input, processes, outputs, and feedback. According to the election law, candidates for president and vice president are proposed in pairs by political parties or coalitions meeting specific criteria. In the 2024 elections, 3 pairs of candidates are supported by political party coalitions. These coalitions highlight a trend where parties with different ideologies or main spaces unite, similar to previous elections. For instance, in 2014 and 2019, diverse party coalitions emerged, emphasizing a pragmatic and transactional approach rather than ideological alignment. The fading of ideology is post-reform politics has made parties more pragmatic, focusing on winning elections and securing power rather than ideological consistency. This shift is evident in the coalitions formed to support presidential candidates. The electoral system, which mandates coalition support, encourages parties to form alliances despite ideological differences. However, the coalitions often face challenges due to the inherently pragmatic nature of political parties. Past elections have seen coalitions shift sides, with parties joining the winning coalition to secure positions or offices. This highlights the dual goals of political parties: survival and success. With President Prabowo due to be inaugurated on October 20, PDIP Chairman Ahmad Basarah said PDIP's decisions to be inside or outside the government was awaiting direction from PDIP Chairperson Megawati Soekarno Putri, while the Partai Kebangkitan Bangsa (PKB) was still awaiting direction from the Suro Council on whether to be outside the government or join the Prabowo Gibran coalition. Regarding political stability, after the Constitutional Court rejected the 2024 presidential election result lawsuit, various reactions emerged. Anies Baswedan and Muhaimin Iskandar congratulate Prabowo Subianto and Gibran Rakabuming Raka on their victory. Muhaimin, chairman of PKB, hoped to work together with Nasdem Party, PKS, and other parties, saying that the coalition of Perubahan was over after the Constitutional Court ruling. Surya Paloh, chairman of the DPP Nasdem Party, suggested joining the Prabowo Gibran camp, saying that it's time to close the old book and open a new book for the sake of nation. Mahfud MD, vice presidential candidate number 3, stated that the dissenting opinion in the 2024 presidential election PHPU verdict hearing was a new history at the Constitutional Court, but emphasized the importance of the cohesiveness of the judges in order to maintain stability. The Constitutional Court's decision to reject all requests from presidential candidate pair number 1, Anies Muhaimin, was accompanied by speeches of disappointment outside the Constitutional Court building. Didin Karyadi Galip from the State Defense Committee also expressed his disappointment with the Constitutional Court's decision, considering that this could damage the image of institution. So many parties also regretted the result of the decision of the Constitutional Court, where everyone knows that in fact many parties doubted the result of the general election, with finally from both parties the candidates filed a lawsuit to the Constitutional Court. In Indonesia, citizens, especially young people, are often afraid to voice their opinions openly. At school, students are also often reluctant to express their opinions for fear of being punished or given bad marks by teachers, or even for fear of disagreeing with their peers. These concerns hindered the formation of a culture of dissent. As a result, people tend to worry more about having a different opinion than trying to find the best solution in the public sphere. Lack of practice in dissent means that we tend to prioritize emotions over arguments. As a result, young people's voices are often ignored and replaced by political interests that only act on their behalf without considering their real needs. In the end, young people are reluctant to speak out and choose to be passive. Knowledge such as politics is quite considered difficult and unfamiliar to young people. Before knowing the explanation of what the political world is like in a simple way, young people are more given hoax news and easily carried away. In the end, this is what makes them confused and choose presidential and vice presidential candidates carelessly and just follow the majority. However, even so, there are still many young people who participate in channeling their opinions about the 2024 presidential election. They channel it through platforms such as Instagram, TikTok, and X, Twitter. dozens of people who identified themselves as members of Citizens Jogja Pro-Democracy carried out a theatrical action in front of the Daerah Istimewa Yogyakarta KPU office to express their protest against the implementation of the 2024 elections. They performed the action Sinau Matematika bersama KPU, where some played the role of Koplak State Elementary School students who had difficulty counting, while others played the role of teachers. The action aimed to voice opposition to alleged fraud during the election process and the 2024 presidential election. They blamed the KPU and Bawaslu for people's dissatisfaction with the implementation of elections. The reasons for this vary, ranging from the findings of ballot papers that have already been voted on, the lack of ballot papers, rampant money politics, to alleged irregularities in the vote count recapitulation process. In addition, the inconsistent behavior of politicians, often switching sides from opposition to coalition and making inconsistent statements, are also causes of public disappointment. The increasing number of abstentions also shows people's apathy and distrust of the government, as they feel that no significant changes in their lives have been made by politicians. Foreign media have again highlighted the Indonesian presidential election, with quick count results showing that the number 2 presidential candidate pair, Prabowo Subianto and Gibran Rakabuming Raka, won the election. AVP emphasized that Prabowo's leadership could influence the world, especially in maintaining a balanced relationship with the US and China. According to AFP, Prabowo will have to maintain a balanced relationship with the US and China, paying attention to his non-aligned policy commitments that could bring in large investment from Beijing while maintaining ties with Washington. However, this could also make Indonesia more dependent on Beijing. In addition, Prabowo is also known to have communicated with Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese after the polls closed, showing his desire to create a positive relationship with Canberra. Australia itself has been trying to improve relations with Indonesia in an effort to balance China's influence and boost trade. As such, the victory of presidential candidate number 2 has a significant impact on other countries, with many looking to strengthen cooperation with Indonesia. So what about the current legislative power? The 2024 election results have changed the map of political power in parliament, which has been dominated by the governing coalition parties for the past 5 years, instead of being dominated by the parties supporting Prabowo Subianto, Gibran Rakabuming Raka, the winner of the 2024 presidential election. Now, the combined strength of their rival political parties is able to keep up even slightly stronger. If this constellation lasts until 2029, Indonesia's democratization, which has recently been rumored to be in retreat, has the opportunity to return to its expected course. Okay, after discussing a lot of previous material, I will discuss the last material, which is about national issues. National issues after the 2024 presidential election may include economy. Focus on the economy and efforts to increase employment and economic growth. Education. Improved quality and access to education, particularly in terms of education, technology, equal access, and improved school infrastructure. Social inequality. Reducing the gap between rich and poor, between access to basic services and social protection for vulnerable groups. Environment. Addressing climate change, efforts to reduce pollution and protect the environment, and the use of renewable energy. Politics. Political reform, transparency, and increased public participation in political processes. Security. Efforts to improve national security and address the threat of terrorism, both domestic and international. These are some of the issues that may become the focus of attention after the 2024 presidential election. So, the conclusion is that the 2024 presidential election is the election that causes the most people to participate more and can be called the most excited ever. Starting from the upheaval of the change from the requirements to the president and vice president until the lawsuit of the two pairs of presidential and vice presidential candidates. The war or heated situation of several political parties has also become a hot topic of discussions until now. It can also be concluded that people now participate more than in previous general elections. That's all from me. Please apologize for any information or opinions that I convey if there are errors or differences of opinion. Hopefully, you will forgive my mistakes in pronouncing word by word because I'm still learning until this moment. Hope you enjoy and thank you. See you, friends!
Mari kita jogetin saja.